Hey y'all. Okay, so I'm bad Flosstube vlogger. I have worked on this 2 nights without doing like a vlog saying, hey, this is what I'm working on and where I'm starting. So this is what I'm working on. Oddworld by Michelle Bendy Stitchy. I just put in my second night since getting home from the retreat. So what I've done since getting home was this flower was only partially done when I left the retreat, so I finished this flower. I did all of these are petals, and that's a snail body. That's a flower, and that's a snail body. And then these light blue stitches in the butterfly. And then I did this key, and then I did the lock, and then I did the basket. So basically on one night I focused on the blue and color completed it. And then tonight I've focused on this black gray color. So quote, all I have left. It's actually not that much, 350 stitches. For this blacky gray color, I still have the snail bodies. And there's a lantern right here. And then I have to do the green stems, which sort of like start out here, come across in here. There's one in the middle, and then there's another one that comes off this way to encase this. And then after I do the stems, there's a little bit of white that goes around the butterfly and a little bit of white that comes off the lantern, like as if the light is shining. So yeah, that's all I have left. I'm hoping it's about 350 stitches. So I'm hoping like 2 more nights will get me there, like 1 if I have a really good night, but I don't know if tomorrow night will be a really good night. And then I wanted to show you, maybe if my thing will load, I managed to get the new patterns that I got from Acorns and Threads, or from the Acorns and Threads retreat, Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I managed to get them into my app that tracks the stitches. That's not Pattern Keeper. So I use Pattern Keeper when I get a chart as a PDF already, but if I have to scan the chart to create a PDF, I do not use Pattern Keeper because Pattern Keeper does not play well with scan charts. So what I wanted to show you, or well, tell you, not like totally show you, but I managed, so I put in the forest pattern, and I managed over the retreat weekend to do 306 stitches. But as you can see, there's a lot of stitches. And then I'll show you, if you're not familiar with this app, it is called Markup R-XP. And what I like about it is that it plays super nice with scanned patterns. So I'll just show you like a tiny bit. So the red, you know, the red is everything I've stitched. And like you can see, it has a search function. The search function isn't necessarily 100%. So first of all, it does take a long time to load, like because when you load in a scanned pattern, I like to use what they call the extra mode, or like the enhanced mode, because it just reads it so much better. It doesn't work like Pattern Keeper, where Pattern Keeper reads the information embedded in the file. There's no information embedded in this file. It just is kind of like a robot looking at the symbols. So as you can see, it didn't pick all those up, but like you can go in and just like say, hey, that's one, that's one, that's one. And then it knows that it's like, now that you've told it, you know? So it definitely has, you know, some of the Pattern Keeper functionality. It's just not like as polished as Pattern Keeper, but for me it's way easier to load a scan chart in on this app than it is to try to get it into Pattern Keeper. And you know, if you're not going to get full functioning out of Pattern Keeper anyways because it's a scan chart, you may as well use the app that's easier. And I like that, you know, it shows you all these stats. Now, obviously, the time is not accurate because I just marked these in after the fact, but yeah, like it shows you percentage, how many you've done, how many still to do total, and then like it shows you today's stats. So number stitched today, time spent today. It gives you some averages, and then if you're into, you know, tracking, no, that's not it. If you're into tracking, like say you have a tracker and you forget to like mark what you did, you can go to this calendar view and it shows you time and stitches. And you can do so much more with this. You can put like a progress picture. You can set a key. I've never done it. I just refer to my own, I just refer to the paper for like, say I decide I'm gonna work on the hourglass. I'll just refer to the paper to see what the hourglass is. I've never messed with that, but yeah, so I did that and we found, I found out because of that, that the forest one, as you can see, is 14,224 stitches, and the other one's gonna take too long to load, but it was 9,181, I believe. See, it takes forever, and that's what you get when you load it with the extra enhanced mode on. But it just reads, it lays the grid down so much nicer. I've actually imported one in the extra mode versus, and then also imported one not in the extra mode, and it really makes a difference to how the grid lays. Oh, okay, a little bit more, 9211. So yeah, that's the Markup RXP app. If you weren't familiar with it, it is, another nice thing about it is it is available on Android and Apple, which Pattern Keeper is not. But yeah, so here's where we are. Hopefully the next time I check in, it is with a finish. So that's it for this one. See you in the next one. Bye. Hey y'all. So I know that I said that the next time I checked in was going to be to show you finished Oddworld, but I decided that I needed to start the Lindy Stitches Beachcomber pattern from the retreat, because I would have started at the retreat, but I couldn't see the holes in the linen, so I really wanted to get this started so that it's a whip, because let's face it, if I didn't get it started as a whip, it might never happen. So I went through my fabric stash, I pulled the linen out, and in my mind I was like, oh, it's like a silvery gray. And I pulled the linen out and I was like, oh, it's kind of like a gray brown. It's almost like, I feel like it definitely leans more towards brown, but not so warm, you know, like a very cool brown gray mix. And I did not have anything like it, at least not in my Ada stash. I didn't pull out the even weave stash because I kind of really wanted to do this one on Ada because there's a lot more counting than the other one. So I just looked at my Ada stash and I just didn't have anything that was anywhere near that. So I was like, okay, then we're either gonna go with a brown or a gray. And I pulled several browns, but I was so worried about, there is a light color, a light sort of, you know, beigey, taupey white color. And I was very concerned about that showing up. So I started to look more heavily at the grays. But I didn't want like a blue gray. So I had found a couple, this one. So what I settled on was, this is Picture This Plus Dapple in 16 count. And I'm pretty happy with it. My only concern, of course, is gonna be the lightest colors, but let me show you. I think it's gonna be okay. I'm tempted to stitch part. Yeah, I mean, that should be okay. So yeah, but I only did, just looking to see if there's anything super light I should be concerned with other than that, but I don't think so. Part of why I didn't want a blue gray is because there's several blues. There's that light one there. There's that sort of like, the other gray I had picked out was darker, and I worried about that. So yeah, but yeah, there's several blues, so I did not want a blue gray. I knew that probably was not gonna be. So this is the whale. That's like the main color of the whale. So I think it's gonna be good. And also it was, so I mean, technically I started it after my birthday was over because I started it after midnight, but I stay up past midnight so much that I just kind of consider like the day that I wake up on, it's that day until I go to bed. So, but it was my birthday, so, and I didn't really feel like starting anything other than this versus last year when I started 5 projects, and then 2 more in October, so 7. I didn't really feel like starting anything except this, so I just decided to go through the fabric stash and get a fabric picked out and at least get a small start. I will probably, I'm so close on Oddworld that I need to go back, but loving this so far. All right, I guess that's it. I will see y'all in the next clip. Bye. Hey everybody. So I wanted to show you something really cool, hopefully really quick. Sorry if you can hear my air conditioner in the background. I'm in my bedroom and I have a window unit because my central air does not do a good enough job in my bedroom. Anyway, so I wanted to show you, if you watched my whip parade, which was 2 videos ago, I showed this piece. It was one of my birthday starts last year. It is called Always Flowers Sampler by Stitches Through the Years. I got it on Etsy. This was like the first sampler that I was super drawn to when I first started like looking up cross stitch patterns, and I just thought it was beautiful. And so I started it for my birthday last year, and I did approximately like 65 stitches of that border, and that was it. And I haven't touched it since. So I was like, and even when I pulled out all my whips to do that whip parade, I was like really excited about everything except this. I was just like, I don't really want to stitch this. But I was looking at it and I was like, I love so much about this. I love the bird on the spool. I love the flowers coming out of the spool. I love that little birdhouse. I love the little birds holding the little quilting stars. I love that potted flower. I love like the individual flowers like coming out of the ground. So it was like, you know, in embracing, I've been thinking a lot about like how, you know, we don't have to stitch patterns in their entirety. Like we could just pull something, you know, that we really like. Oh, and then so my favorite quote out of all the quotes is, all the flowers of all the tomorrows are in the seeds of today. So I was like, what if I just take elements and I make my own? Now I was still hoping it would be a lot smaller than it turned out to be, but like my brain is very symmetrical, so I couldn't figure out in a way that pleased my brain how to do this with like less stitches or like how maybe I will still play with it further and like incorporate the birdhouse if I can convince my brain to drop the symmetry. But I wasn't feeling like cross stitching last night because I had a headache and I just wasn't feeling good. So I was like, let me chart instead. So let me show you what I did. Look at it. So I'm not like 100% married to the colors. This mock-up right here is, I'm thinking about doing it pride themed. So obviously I have rainbow spools, and then that is the bisexual flag colors. That's 9 non-binary flag colors. That's trans pride flag colors. That's pansexual flag colors. And then the house is kind of close-ish to asexual flag colors. But like the rest of it is pretty much charted colors. So like these flowers are charted except the green. I didn't pull the green, I don't know why. And then like this basket is as charted. I put it on top of the house because how cute is a basket of flowers on top of the house? And then the words, I couldn't figure out how to chart the words over one, or how to, which is how they are in the pattern, or how to like recreate how the words look in full stitches. But this app, which is called Stitch Sketch, has an ability to just like type what you want and it charts it, and there's different fonts. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So yeah, this is what I've come up with so far, and I'm super, everything is pulled directly from the sampler except for the house. I put the house in and it was teeny tiny. It was like, it only came to like there, and then it was only like this tall. So I was like, the flowers are bigger than the house. So I just sort of like, I just made a rose. Yeah, I was just like, okay, that looks good to me, and at least it makes it, and it was a couple rows taller, but then this basket just would not fit. But yeah, so I was just super excited about this, and I wanted to share it with y'all. So hopefully tonight when I stitch, I'm gonna go back to Oddworld because I'm just so close to a finish. So all right, y'all, see you in the next one. Bye. Hey y'all, I have a lot to show you in this vlog. I have been a bad vlogger and not filming when I should, and so things have piled up. And then I tried to film this last night, but I was very squirrely and kind of salty, so I decided I would redo it. But that means there's even more to show you now. So the first thing that I've done since I vlogged last is I finished Oddworld. Yay! So as you can see, it's still on the Q-snap in the ground guard. Haven't even taken it off, which I need to. But this is Oddworld by Michelle Bendy, or excuse me, Michelle Bendy Stitchy Designs. This is stitched on 18 count Fibrelicious Cafe Misto with the Fibrelicious thread pack, because this was a whole big kit for the journal, and so this will be the cover of the journal. And so I'm going to cut it like a couple squares away from the border, and then there's like some lace trim that came with it. So yeah, it's done. Super. I'm very happy to have this project done, mostly because we talked about it endlessly. 1 strand, 18 count, not my jam. And even though I'm grateful to know about the 1 strand loop method start, it's not my favorite way to start. I like to just regular loop start. Okay, let me put this. The only thing challenging about vlogs is doing everything with 1 hand. So then I didn't really totally know what I wanted to stitch next. I kind of wanted to work on my Codify Row Now piece because it's really close to being finished. I also Drama Llama Sampler is kind of close to a finish too, but it's October, and so I kind of want a spooky stitch, and my 2 pieces that I have that are October-ish, spooky-ish, are Modern Folk Embroidery Spirits of the Dead and Glendon Place's Sleepy Hollow. And I decided to grab Modern Folk Embroidery Spirits of the Dead because it's in Pattern Keeper, so it's easier to stitch. And I was just feeling like I needed something easy. So this is where I am right now. I have put some work into this. I'm gonna put up on the screen a picture of where I was when I started, because I was on the phone when I started stitching, so I couldn't do a vlog. But basically, I was here where the hard line is. First I came over and did all this, then I did this bone, then I started doing these little flowery vines, and then I started this process of connecting the 2. And this is like maybe 400 or 450 stitches that I've added, and I'm really enjoying working on it. I am stitching it in DMC Ecru, and this is a 14 count fabric dyed by the Steel City Stitchers that was in a box that I got like forever ago. And I started this last year during October, and then promptly I got like this over here is like 2,000 stitches. So I did a good amount and then didn't touch it for a year, but it's October, so I wanted to pull this out. I am a little tiny bit concerned because this fabric was supposed to be 16 count, so, but it's not. And I didn't realize that until I pulled it out. As soon as I pulled it out the other day and I started stitching, I was like, this doesn't seem like 16 count. And I questioned myself because, you know, I started it a year ago. Like, I don't track anything, so I don't remember what I thought it was, other than that I know, like, typically almost the entirety of my stash is 16 or 32. So I feel like when something's not 16 or 32, that sticks out in my brain. But I actually went back to an unboxing video, and it was in fact supposed to be 16 count. So I'm just hoping the project fits. I feel pretty confident, like left to right, side to side. I feel a tiny bit less confident now, top to bottom. So what I may do after I fill this part of the Q-snap is when I take it out, I may continue my border on that side down to the bottom, just to make sure that it's all gonna fit. If it doesn't, this project will probably, I don't know, I feel like maybe I could make it work. I feel like maybe the only thing that wouldn't fit would be, there's like a row at the bottom that's probably like that thick, that has, you know, Edgar Allan Poe and then a date. Maybe I could just like leave that out and incorporate it somewhere else or some different way. But regardless, so this was, I've done like 2 nights of work on this, and even though I do still kind of want to work on it, I also just bought the new Darling and Whimsy Quirky Quakers. You know I love the Quirky Quakers. I own every... Oh, that's a good job, Danielle. I was trying to open it, but it was already opened. I own all of them, and I want to... well, the only one I don't own is the one that she gave as a freebie to the people who went to Stitch North this year. But I'm kind of okay with that because it's just a cute little Canadian maple leaf, you know? And so I feel like that's very like vibey with the retreat. But I genuinely cannot decide which one I want to stitch first. And so I think I went with this one because this one was going to take the least amount of effort for me to convert colors, because so I want to do basically every single one of them on purple. So I knew to grab purple fabric. And then I was like, black, done, easy, DMC 310. And then, wait for it, when I was at Pinwis, I bought this lime green floss. So it doesn't have the same, you know, it's not the same green vibe, but I think that it will still make a good potion floss. And then this is, and then see, the universe has a plan, y'all. The universe has a plan. So not only did I buy this floss at Acorns and Threads at Pinwis, last year on my birthday when I went to Acorns and Threads, I bought that. And at the time, I was like thinking I would probably never stitch on linen, but I had to have it because it was just the most perfect purple, you know? So I had to have it, so I bought it. And look how, like, look how good that is. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start this tonight just because it's too good. And I really kind of want to start a Quirky Quaker. I mean, I want to stitch every last one of these Halloween Quirky Quakers. They are all so good. So I think I just want to start that tonight. My other purple fabric that I have right now, so as you can see, that is a Mystic Fabric 32 count. But then, funny enough, the other purple fabric I have is this by Mystic Fabrics. This though it's not named because it was in a grab bag, but I mean, I also have another piece of purple fabric coming, but it's very dark. It's not, it's like a very jewel tone purple. So I don't know, but between these two here, I have more than enough to do all 5 Quirky Quakers, because there is the Cauldron, there's the Jack-o'-lantern, there's the Ghost, there's the Candy Corn, and then there is the Skeleton in the Graveyard. So 5, and I have more than enough fabric just between these two. But I think that I want to do that Skeleton in the Graveyard on the darker purple, because I feel like that'll be a little bit more moodier. And then these ones I want to do, I think, like the Cauldron and the Ghost on this slightly lighter one. And then the Jack-o'-lantern and the, I feel like maybe Candy Corn over here too. So Jack-o'-lantern on here, Candy Corn, Ghost, Cauldron on here, and the skeleton on that other purple fabric that I have coming. So that's everything that I had to show you. I don't know, like I've been, I had a couple days where I wasn't feeling good, headaches, tired. So I think I've just been like, I'm not going to do the work to vlog. I'm just going to stitch. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to show you for this update. Oh yeah, I also said in the other clip that I'm going to scrap. I hope to have this up about October 15th, 14th or 15th, because I am going on a little vacation from the 15th through the 20th, and I'm going to take some footage at one or possibly two cross-stitch shops, and I'm not going to be cross-stitching while I'm gone. I'm just not going to take anything with me because I have 4 completely jam-packed days planned, so I will be too tired and too busy. So yeah, this should be up in the middle of October, and then I'll try to have, you know, the other one, the next one will start with those cross-stitching shops, and then I'll hope to have that up a couple weeks after that. So, all right, y'all, see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, y'all. I finished the Cauldron. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm so in love with this purple and the green together. It is just stunning. So I did, that night that I started it, I did a lot of stitches, like 730 something stitches, which that's close to a record for me. I think my record is somewhere in the 700s for one day. So yeah, it's done. So good. I'm so happy with it. So then I have loaded up the Q-snap with the next piece of this fabric because I'm going to stitch another one. I think I want to stitch the candy corn next. It's either going to be the candy corn or the ghost, one or the other. But before I do that, I am going to put some more stitches over here. So I'm probably going to stitch for a little while longer this morning, maybe do another night on this. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 nights left of stitching before I go on my little vacation. So we'll see how much I can get done in the next 7 days. Hopefully I can stitch every day. Kind of depends on my sleep schedule. And since I mainly stitch at night, if I'm sleeping during those hours, then stitching doesn't happen. But yeah, so that's my check-in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey y'all. Okay, so moving the Q-snap. So thought I would show you what I have done. I wanted to move the Q-snap before I tried to tackle the vines in here because, like, you can see, like, you don't want to have to stop short, you know, because then when you go to finish it, then there's not that much to stitch. And I hate, like, threading a needle for not very much. So I decided to not stitch the vines that I could get to until I could move the Q-snap. So I've moved the Q-snap, and my plan is I only really have tonight. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stitch tomorrow night. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come down here. It's only a few stitches until this like arches back up. So I want to like get the arch done and the vines in here. And then, yeah, and then I think that will probably be my stopping point for this project, just because I am starting to feel like a little bit burned out on it. As of right now, I've added like 1,300 stitches, from 13 or 1,400 from when I picked it up. I'm sitting at 37% done right now. So yeah, I'm gonna get the Q-snap thrown back on, and I'm gonna hopefully get that done. I'd really hope to like accomplish that plus stitch the candy corn before I go on vacation, but that is not going to be the case. So my goal now is to just get this arch, you know, encapsulated. So basically this whole middle part will be done. Yeah, so that's my goal tonight, and I will hopefully check in with you when it is done. See y'all in the next one. Bye. Hey y'all. Okay, so I did it. I I took the line on the bottom all the way to the end. So that is the width of the pattern. And then I enclosed the arch and did the vines. So this is going to be my last little snippet for this vlog, because I have less than 24 hours until I need to be at the airport. And in that time, I have to celebrate my husband's birthday, sleep twice, shower, pack, clean, like, so no more stitching for me until I get back from vacation, and probably no more stitching on this piece because I'm feeling a little burned out. My brain is a little itchy that I would really like to like fill this in so that it matches to this about here, but that's like nearly full coverage, you know, so that's a lot of stitches. So I don't think I have it in me to finish, like even it up, you know, but I added nearly 2,000 stitches to this thing, maybe like 17 or 1,800. I'm now like about 40% done. This last bit over here is the densest, you know, stuff that's left. So yeah, like I said, this is my last little clip. I'm gonna throw this all together, make a vlog for y'all, get it posted before. Hi puppies. You say hi to the peoples. Get it posted before I get on the airplane, and I will see y'all in the next vlog. So thank you all for being here, coming back. If you're new, welcome in. Thank y'all for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. He wants to be put under a blanket. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.